Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoy the new background view. I'm gonna have a little bit more straight later on when I get some stuff to hold up these comics. But today I had something in mind, and I immediately changed my mind after going shopping with Chloe. We had to get her a new bicycle helmet because her head's gotten way too big for the helmet that she has. So while I was in the middle of getting her a new helmet, I saw something that caught my eye. So growing up, one of the first games that I ever got into trading card game was Magic the Gathering. And Magic the Gathering is one of those games that I've come back and forth from growing up. I played it when I was young, from probably around when it came out, alpha and beta, to probably 4th edition. I don't know the dates off the top of my head, so I'll find those out. But yeah, after it was a pretty complicated game though, for as young as I was, and like that style of card game, it was really complicated. And then I stopped playing it for a while. I got into Pokemon, the trading card game, because Pokemon was big at the time. And yeah, I completely forgot about it. Like, and then when I moved to Germany, I got back into it. One of my friends was into it, and he was kind of showing me like and explaining how the game works in more detail and a lot better. And I actually read the rules, and I started to understand the card game. And the rules actually changed at that point, so it was a little bit easier to understand and play the game. But let me get back to why I'm talking about Magic the Gathering. So today, while I was in Target, I saw something that caught my eye, and it was this Magic the Gathering game night. That's kind of cool. I mean, what is this? And it says play Magic with 2 to 5 players right out of the box. So growing up where I grew up at, there wasn't really anywhere to actually go play these type of games besides like Books A Million when they were doing the Pokemon League. But for Magic, there really wasn't anywhere to play that. And Magic always has all kinds of like pre-constructed decks and stuff coming out and different game types. But I picked this up in particular because I wanted to see what was inside and like kind of critique, like, is this a good way to introduce 2 to 5 people into Magic the Gathering and how to play Magic the Gathering. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this bad boy up. We're gonna take a look at the inside and see what the different decks are, and pretty much see what comes inside the box. And then I'll let you know whether or not, if this is something you might be interested in. You know, just grab a couple of friends and some beers and whatnot and sit down and play Magic the Gathering and learn how to play it. So let's dive right in. So here's the outside of the box. Let's go ahead and unbox this bad boy. Alright, so as soon as we open it up, this looks like these are the instructions for the game, which it is. And as you can tell, Magic the Gathering is pretty complicated. I mean, here's even the deck list of like what comes inside the box. So you got the 5 colors: white, blue, black, red, and green. They all represent the different types of mana or lands that you use in order to play the cards. So white is plains, blue is island, black is swamp, red is mountain, and green is forest. Then it jumps right into gameplay, how the card setup works. You got your hand, you got your mana pool, the battlefield, normally where your creatures are. And unlike Yu-Gi-Oh! And other games, like, there's no place to put spells and whatnot. Normally keep your spells in your hand. And there's different types of spells: instant, sorcery. You have enchantments that you can attach to creatures or artifacts and whatnot. Artifacts would go pretty much in the same area along the battlefield. I mean, you can't actually attack an artifact and whatnot unless it's a creature, but I'm not going to sit here and explain the game. I just kind of wanted to kind of give you a breakdown and kind of see what's inside the box. So these are the instructions. Let's see what we got here. This is an advertisement for Magic the Gathering Portal. Right here, we've got some total life. These are pretty much life counters. You start off with 20 life. These little 1+1s are for like enchantments and stuff. So like if you buff a creature, you can put one of these on there. That's pretty cool. Back in the day, the way that we kept track of it is like using little beads and whatnot. Kind of like, oh, this beads is going to represent 1+1+1 or whatever. Counters in order to remember like, oh, this creature's like this, that, and the other. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Let's move on. Ooh, dice. I love dice. So they give you 20-sided dice to help you remember what your life is at. You always start off at 20 when it comes to a single player, or not single player, but in a normal game of Magic the Gathering. Two-headed giant, I believe you start with 40 life, and that's shared between you and your partner. Basically that's a 2v2, but we're not even going to get into that. So yeah, they give you 5 20-sided dice for, you know, up to 5 players, like I said before, and the 5 decks. So let's take a look at this one. So this is the red deck. At least it says it's the red deck. So I'm guessing it's a red-white deck, because that is a white creature token. They've even changed the way the tokens look. The tokens used to come inside booster packs, 15 cards, and like you would get 15 cards and then like a throwaway card. Normally it was like an advertisement for Friday Night Magic or something going on within the Magic the Gathering community. And you're always guaranteed 1 rare or mythic rare, and then the possibility of a foil. And so I had that's one thing I love about trading card games, is opening up the packs, because like I love that RNG of like, what are you going to get? To me, that's the most fun. I mean, besides trading and like actually playing the game, opening the packs was like, it's like Christmas every time you buy them. You never know, you know, what you're coming down to. So let's open this up. Unleash Chaos. If your goblins leave anything standing, burn it to the ground. So this is kind of like the stats of this deck. It's supposed to be a fast deck. There's not many creatures. It's heavy on spells, and it's not that complex. So that's kind of cool that they even tell you, hey, you know, this is what the deck is meant for. Right out the gate, you get a mythic rare. So the way to tell in Magic, like, what type of rarity a card is normally right here. The reddish color right here normally means mythic rare. If it's gold or yellowish, that means rare. Silver is uncommon, and then black is common. So yeah, that's pretty cool. They give you at least 1 mythic rare. Let's see what else. Captivating Crew, that's a rare. Goblin Siege, no, that's the Siege Gang Commander, that's a rare. Demanding Dragon, oh, that's cool, it's from M19. So yeah, I mean, they give you a pretty decent amount of rares and 1 mythic to start off with. This is the green deck, so let's take a look at what's in this. So, Grow Fierce. Summon enormous creatures with power drawn from nature. So that's normally like a normal green beatdown deck. So as you can see, it's not that fast. It's heavy on creatures. Not that many spells, and it's not that complex. Again, they give you 1 mythic. Avatar of Growth. Legendary creature. This is a rare. Another rare, and this is Revelation. Gargantuous. I'm pretty excited just looking at these. Like, this makes me want to play the game right now. Might have to download MTGO later and actually get in a couple of games with some of my old cards. What do we have here? This one is the blue deck. Blue's normally a little bit more complex. It's always spell heavy. Normally counter decks. I used to play a lot of blue-white. Jace the Mind Sculptor and Venser back when that was in standard. It was one of my favorite things to do. I love control. I just love being able to tell someone no. I think that's why I like my job so much, because I get to tell people no a lot. So this one's called Take to the Skies. Rule the air with a bevy of powerful flying creatures. So this isn't a typical blue deck. It's not even a control deck. It seems like it's pretty slow, as you can see. Heavy on creatures, some spells, and it's pretty complex. Again, another mythic rare. So like I said, it seems like they all come with a mythic rare. This one is called Inspired Sphinx. So, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rares. I'll tell you this, if I was getting back into Magic, these would immediately get sleeved or protected in some other way. But since I'm not, and we're just taking a look at what's in here, yep, don't care. So this one is the black deck, and it's called Rise from the Grave. So this deck, it's kind of slow. It's not really heavy on creatures. It is heavy on spells, and it's very complex, like most black decks. I would say black decks, though, can be pretty easy. Normally black is a lot of creature denial, almost kind of like a counter deck, like a blue deck. Again, you got your mythic. So this one is Rot Hulk. Interesting. And then the 5 rares. Ooh, Death Baron. Death Baron's pretty good. I remember him. A symbol for battle. Build an army of creatures that get stronger by working together. That seems like a normal White Weenie deck. White Weenie is normally just a bunch of low-level creatures that cost like nothing, like 1 or 2 mana to bring out on the battlefield. It's supposed to be quick and hopefully just overpower your enemy before they can actually do anything. So like I said, yeah, quick. So you can see the speed's up there. There is a large number of creatures, about the same amount of spells, and it's not that complex. Normally White Weenie was never that complex, so it's funny. I mean, to me, they should just call them kind of like what they are. This is White Weenie. White Weenie. Maybe they just didn't want to say White Weenie. I don't know. Same thing. You get it. There's your mythic. Militant Angel. This one's new to me. Camera doesn't want to focus in on it. Must be the light. But I'll put it up anyways so y'all can get a better view. Then your 5 rares. Always watching. Marshall, Cleansing Nova. Mentor of the Meek. I remember that card. Valiant Knight. And some of these don't look familiar. Some of these do. And it seems like too that like once you've popped everything out of this, look, that just fell right out, that you would just drop it in here. Yep. And then you can just throw away the board itself. That's neat. So I'm back to the little booklet on the inside, and I'm just gonna read the first section. Welcome to Game Night. Game Night is an all-in-one multiplayer Magic experience for 2 to 5 players. These 5 decks are designed to provide fun, balanced gameplay. Okay. For experienced players and newcomers alike. I will say this, as an experienced player, you're not gonna probably pick this up and be like, let me play with other experienced players. I mean, maybe you will, maybe you won't. I mean, when I was into Magic, like hardcore into Magic, like I wanted to be, I was going to Pro Tour qualifiers and whatnot. I would have picked this up probably just for if there were any cards in it that I needed that were hard to get. Like I wouldn't have just picked this up to play with my friends, like because that's just not how we played. We wanted to like build our decks and practice our decks against one another before we go to tournaments. So for them to say experienced players makes me chuckle. It seems like they're out of touch with their own community. Unless I'm wrong, I might be. That's just my opinion. But then it continues. If most of the people in your play group already know how to play Magic, the first part of the guide will help you get started playing right away. If you or some of your friends aren't familiar with Magic, the Basics of Magic rulebook that starts on page 11 provides an introduction to the Magic game and a reference you can look to if you have questions. Which there's always questions, because like some of the cards in Magic the Gathering are like a fucking paragraph long and you can't even figure out what it does. Then on top of that, so you got the rules, you got the normal rules for Magic the Gathering, and then you got cards that have their own rules because they were so complicated that Wizards of the Coast had to go back and create additional rules for those cards. Which is funny because like you would have to know them when you went to a tournament. You needed to know every card in your deck, what it does, how it works, and because somebody's not, and they're gonna challenge you, and then you're gonna have a judge come over, and then you gotta talk to the judge, and you gotta know what you're talking about when you're talking to the judge, especially if like you're in a foreign country and it's already like hard to communicate against your opponent, and then the judge comes over and he doesn't know that much English either. It sucks, but like you got to know your stuff. So yeah, as like maybe someone who's dabbled in Magic the Gathering and enjoyed playing the game and has been gone for a while from the game and decides, you know, hey, I want to play, and they got some friends that are interested and never played it before, and they want to give it a shot. Yeah, it's probably worth getting. I'd definitely say that. But as like an experienced player, and as an experienced player, you probably won't even pick this up unless there's, like I said, unless there's some cards in here that you just have to have for one of your decks. Like, it's nothing amazing about any of the cards in here. Other than that, I mean, yeah, like I said, it probably is worth picking up to play with some friends. I just wish I had some people that would play. Most of the people in Carp Crew do not play Magic the Gathering. I think I'm probably one of the only people that play Magic still, because every once in a while I will get on MTGO and play my black-red vampire deck. So I hope you liked the review. I hope it was helpful. If you're interested in getting into Magic the Gathering, you know, leave a comment below, tell me. Or if you're an experienced player and love Magic the Gathering, I like to hear some comments from y'all. Like, I used to love this game. Like, I still do love Magic the Gathering. It's just that I cannot get into it like I was before. Like, it is expensive, especially if you want to get on the professional level, because you have to have the key cards and you have to have 4 copies of that card in most cases, because you're gonna want to be able to get to that card in your deck. Because like I mean, most decks when you go to a tournament are 60. I mean, that's just standard playing size. 60 cards, maybe 24 to even 22 lands in a deck. That way you're not mana flooded, but then again, it's still RNG. Like, when it comes to card games, I'd rather be lucky than good all day long, because that's what it comes down to. I mean, you're shuffling your deck and you have no idea what those first 7 cards are going to be. And like, when it comes to card games, especially like Hearthstone, you're just like hoping that that next card is the card that you need in order to win. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next issue.